Are we
sound like
ready?
A.
Everybody ready? Here we go.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to another episode of the Audio Audacity podcast. I'm your host, Mo B. Today's episode is episode 15, How to Get a Good Union Job. But first, let's talk about our sponsor. Our sponsor today is by Gia Turner Realtor. Now is the time to buy because interest rates are low, historically low. Gia has a team, a credit manager to help you clean your credit legally, and a finance manager to help you get the home based on the credit. Let them get you in your dream home today, right now, yesterday, if need be. Once you get the snow out the way. And it's also a seller's market. So now's the time to now's the time to sell your property and get top dollar for your home, your land, or anything else you have to sell that's legal. Don't sell no ass. And bring in a nice profit. So contact Gia Turner today, GIATUNER, Realtor Associate from Berkshire Hathaway. You can give her a call at 314-323-1589. Give her a call today. You can check her out online at www.homesbygiaturner.com. And on to the show. Today's episode is episode 15, where we speak about how to get a good union job and speak upon unions. I and my wife are in the union, local General Motors Local 2250. Shout out to UAW. And I'm a second generation union member. My father was in the union, and he worked at General Motors for 47 years. Shout out to Matt Brooks.
Oh, wow.
And so I'm second generation, and my wife being there as well. So that's what that is. But it's not even about me. Today we have a guest. I'm the host. We have a guest today. We have a good friend of mine, Derek Henry, aka Hen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How you been, bro?
Oh man, I'm blessed by the highly favored. You know
Oh, my God, you look good, too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Excellent. And Derek is a member of the local 513 Heavy Equipment Operators Union.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's find out what a heavy equipment
Can we say hi first?
Let's talk about if he's a heavy
We didn't
equipment.
say hi.
Hi.
Okay, everybody say hi.
Hey.
Hurry up. Okay. Now,
Hello.
we gonna get to that. I'm sorry.
We gonna get to that.
He's a heavy equipment operator that works with bulldozers, forklifts, cranes, and etc.
Etc.
All
Yes,
right,
there's
all
a
right.
lot of heavy equipment when it comes to erecting buildings out there, and I am getting trained, or I have been trained on all of it.
Damn, that's what's up.
Yes,
And how long have you been?
it's coming up on a year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little backstory. Should I go ahead and give you my backstory?
Yeah, please, yes, by all means.
All right, let's go back a couple years. About 12 years. I was working at FedEx Freight. Started driving a forklift, and I wanted something more. I felt like a hamster on the wheel, going back and forth on the forklift, like doing the IndyCar thing, riding around in circles. And I wanted something more. So I started reaching out for different jobs, but I wanted something that was better. Then I went to the railroad after that, Norfolk Southern. Stayed there until I got furloughed, which pretty much means you're laid off indefinitely. After that, I was like, I'm too old to be laid off from anywhere. Fuck that. It's can I curse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh shit! All right then.
There it is.
After I went to the railroad, got laid off, I decided I never want to be unemployed in my life. So I went ahead and got my CDL for free. I just did a Google search, and you have these companies that'll pay for your CDL, but you're attached to them for a year and a half, or something like that. But I found out that if you're unemployed and you're receiving food stamps, the government will pay for you to get your CDL. So I actually got my CDL paid for by the state of Missouri through Forest Park. They have a program there. Got my CDL, and since I worked at FedEx Freight and I knew every aspect of that job, I was a yard dog there, which means I shuffled the trailers in the yard, and I learned how to back up. The hardest part about having a CDL and being a truck driver is backing up without hitting anything. So my time getting my CDL was easy. I just pretty much stood there because I knew I had to do it. I just needed the training so companies would look at me easier, because I had trained. Drove trucks on the road for about a year and a half. Relocated to Florida. Florida is a totally different market. They're almost a bastard child of the United States. Their pay scales are crazy. I was getting paid less. Overtime started after 50 hours.
Oh my gosh.
You feel me? And I was still averaging 65 to 70 hours a week. But I was still just living.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
see
I'm
your
saying? I
point,
was-
just barely.
Yeah, and it's Florida, so the cost of living's higher there. So came back for a wedding, and I was chopping it up with
God damn it.
chopping it up with my cousin, and he's a union plumber. He started off as a union plumber, but now he has his own company.
Right.
And we basically talked about how to get in the union, which skilled trade pays the most, and what to do, what I have to do. So it started off with a phone call. He told me which ones were the highest paid ones. I was like, I don't want to do that. I want a heavy equipment operator. I can do that.
Right.
Like, if I could drive a truck, I could do anything.
Right.
So I made a call, spoke to a gentleman, and he pretty much gave me the skill, the path I needed to take. And that's how I came. I packed up my truck in September or so, came back, and I was like, hey, I'm back. Put me to work. And 2 weeks later, I was working.
I didn't
which-
realize
now-
you were back.
Now, which type of CDL do you have? For those who don't know, the CDL is a commercial driver's license, and there's 3 classes: Class A, Class B, and Class C. Which one did you have?
I have Class A with all the endorsements.
Okay. For those, let me give you a brief rundown, y'all, for those who need to understand what a Class A or B and C license is. Class A license is for tractor trailers, also known as semi, big rig or 18-wheelers, truck and trailer combination, tankers, vehicles, livestock carriers, flatbeds. A Class B license, you can drive straight trucks, large buses, city buses, tourist buses, and school buses, segment buses, box trucks, including delivery trucks and furniture trucks, dump trucks with small trailers. And then Class C license is double, triple trailers, buses, tank trucks, hazmat vehicles, and transports that can transport 16 passengers. Or vehicles that can have 16 or more passengers, including the driver. So that's what, for those who want to know the difference between an A, B, and C CDL license or commercial driver's license. So, with that being said, any questions, comments, or concerns, ladies?
What does it take to be union? Like, what do you have to do? What do you have to sign up for?
Basically, it depends on what skill trades you want to step into. You have my skill trade, heavy equipment operators. You have the carpenters, you have the laborers, iron workers, drywallers, tile layers.
Let's see. It says right here, Boilermakers,
Go
bricklayers.
ahead and run that down.
Here we go. Boilermakers,
He got it.
bricklayers, carpenter, cement mason, construction craft laborer, electrician, elevator constructor, floor layer, glazer, heat and frost worker, iron worker, operating engineer, painting, wallpaper, hanger, and drywall finisher, pipe fitter, plasterer, plumber, roofer, sheet metal worker, teamster, and tile setter.
So is it like they drug test?
These are all jobs
That's a
that
good-
has a union.
Yes,
Yeah.
those
Those
are
are
all,
all the
all
local
union
unions
Yeah.
that are in
And then
this
you
area.
can also Google
a
it as
stripper
well,
be
like I
in a
did.
union?
They need to be. They need to be.
No, seriously.
if they found a union that wanted to take them, but I don't think
Can you just start your own union?
You can, but you have to fall under the
I thought
umbrella
they
of
did
one of
at the
those
Bunny
unions.
Ranch. They don't have a union at the Bunny Ranch in Vegas.
You know what? I think they do.
It's something.
It's some kind
like
of they
that.
fall under some umbrella. Because when I worked for the railroad,
be
I
off.
came under the sheet metal workers union. So you can fall under a certain.
You would be surprised.
Yeah.
I know, working at General Motors, or
should have
if you're part of the UAW, you get a chance to go to a place called Black Lake, which is in Onaway, Michigan, and you learn about the union, how it started, who started it, who founded it, and stuff, and so on and so forth, and why it became to be. And we found anyone that's in the UAW can go to this free location to learn more about the union. And we met librarians from Boston. There were casino workers
Really?
who are under the UAW. There were,
No strippers.
I mean, it was a lot of people
You trying to say shake
covered under that
shake
UAW.
some.
Oh, you did
Because
shake
the
some.
A and the A in
Untitled
UAW ain't
Chapter.
always about
Auto
auto
worker.
worker. It's
Yeah.
about aerospace and so on and so
Managed
forth. And it
chambers.
was very, 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 very informative to find out the different ways of finding out who's under the union umbrella. So for those who may want to unionize, it's a possibility that strippers could be unionized. It just depends on the right circumstance.
And that's
Right.
what I was thinking. Like, is there an age requirement? You have to be 21 and older. What
It
is
has to be 18.
18.
18 and older. Okay,
I'm a
'cause I
son.
have some
Somebody
young.
said something about drug testing.
sons.
Oh, my strippers might fail.
Yeah. You need
The
to-
wildest thing happened to me. My first assignment was for a company, and I'm talking to the lady. She's running down what I'm going to have to do, and she's like, "Hey, I need you to go to this facility off of Hampton and take a drug test." Hold on. Can you pass a drug test? I've never been asked that in my life. Can you pass a drug test?
Wait.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, yeah, my piss is squeaking. I was like, I really wanted to ask her, what if I didn't?
What did? What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? But I didn't, since it's a job.
I would ask. Does the color of my skin determine whether or not?
That was baby piss. I know I
Yeah.
passed.
But I wanted to ask, but there's another thing. Once you get on the job, certain jobs come to your site
Random.
and they'll drug test you at the site. There's a way around that. So let's say you're a mason, you're laying bricks. You see that white van with the trailer pull up.
Oh, you know them.
Yeah, once you talk to the OGs on the job site,
They'll tell you.
they'll skill you. They'll
School you on who to look out for.
And the thing to do is just go home.
If
I
you
don't
know
feel
you ain't
good.
gonna pass it.
Exactly. If you don't know, if
Go
you know
home
your
that
piss is
day.
dirty, go home because you don't want to suffer the repercussions of
Having
dirty
pee.
piss because you got to go all through some rigmarole. Just go home.
And-
You don't feel
and
good.
Out there where we work.
Ain't
at
that kinda
GM, they
obvious,
do-
though?
They do her testing.
Every time
so.
a drug test come, I go home.
So
You're in a union. You can fight
You're
it.
covered
Exactly.
by the
And that's the
union.
reason why you're in a union. You can fight it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
So basically, the union, it comes to the aid of anything you got going on.
Just about.
Just about.
Just about.
So they can save
I'm
your
grateful
job.
for our
Yeah, true story.
union.
At General Motors years ago, my father told me the story, and different coworkers that hired in with my dad years ago verified. There was a love triangle at the job. A guy shot another guy in the head. He went to jail, got out of jail, did his time, and got his job back at General Motors.
get the fuck out.
And
of here.
that is, and for those who
He shot him at the gig.
I don't know where he shot him at. I just know he worked for General Motors, and he went to jail and got his job back.
Yeah.
Now,
How
where
much
it
time
happened
did he
at,
do?
I don't know where it happened at, but he got convicted of attempted murder, did his time, got
they
out,
didn't-
and got
How
his
much
job
time?
back.
Like he did some years. and
He
got
did some years.
It was attempted, so that means he didn't finish
I can
the job.
attest that our union is, I feel like our union is top notch for what it's worth. But I can attest they've come to bat for me in ways other jobs may never. Like you just fired, leave.
I worked for a janitorial service, and the local, since I was in the managerial position, I wasn't in the union, so I had to sit on like these labor disputes with the union. It was the local. Should I say? I'm not gonna say
No,
which
it's
local.
not necessary.
I'm not gonna say which union it was,
Not
but it's
necessary.
like they fight the boss of the job. If you getting rid of, they'll take it to the union, and it's their job to dispute this. And I've seen people get their jobs, and I've seen people like, all right, I can't save you on this one.
Right.
But that is their job to fight for you to stay there.
Yeah, that was. It's going to be my segue. What are the benefits versus the? We'll come back to.
Well, matter of fact, let's come back to that
Yeah,
because
pros
we're
and
talking a lot.
cons.
We're talking about a lot about what a union can do, but we're not getting specific on it. So let me
Yeah, that's
let
what
me
I was
tell you.
gonna
So,
ask.
what is a labor union or a union? A labor union is a group of workers who unite to improve the working conditions throughout collective bargaining with employers. Unions negotiate with management over the work issues such as wages, benefits, and safety. When unions and management come together to an agreement in these areas, they create a legally binding contract that lasts for a specific number of years, in which it is then renegotiated once the contract has expired. Today in the United States, more than 60 unions representing more than 14 million workers presently exist. Unions represent a diverse range of employees. Here's some examples of different people. Auto workers, like at Ford, GM, and Chrysler. Police officers, teachers, firefighters, bakers, miners, public city and county employees, plumbers, office workers, bus drivers, airline pilots, farm workers, and nurses. Major corporations without a union, some of these you might not be surprised. Walmart, Amazon, Toyota, Apple, Hewlett Packard,
Exactly.
Hewlett Packard, Whole Foods, and Quick Trip. Now, there's asterisks right after Walmart and Amazon's name. These are corporations that have been allegedly accused of major worker right violations because they don't have a union. And
There's big talk about that in the news now.
And every chance they get, they're trying to bust it. Different. Yeah. You know how much? There's a lot of money that the Walton family can lose by, not even lose, but they would have to just forfeit over to help the common worker with their life. The education of union members, the educational requirements of most jobs in craft and trades are set by the employers, not the unions. Some jobs require a high school diploma or a college degree, while others do not. However, membership in certain trades and unions do require that its membership receive specific training and that they serve apprenticeships before they are to be accepted into the union. Example, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers has an apprenticeship program that combines classroom work with on-the-job training. The IBEW offers training programs from outside linemen, inside wiremen, communication technicians, and residential wiremen. Now, here's the pros and cons to a union. Collective bargaining agreement, that's a pro, because strength in numbers. With the collective bargaining agreement in place, as a whole, they hear everyone's gripes and grievances, and they try to bring everything together on a contract, so that way, when it's all said and done, mostly everybody benefits. I say mostly because it's also a con.
Exactly.
So another pro is better working conditions. Improving working conditions and worker safety has always been an important objective that justifies the existence of labor unions. From their beginnings, unions have always been responsible for forcing employers to eliminate sweatshop environments and to provide a workplace that does not pose a risk of injury or death to employees. Now, another pro is more job security. Union workers have more job security compared to non-union employees. An employer can only terminate a union worker for a just cause, not just because.
Exactly.
The reason for firing an employee must be serious enough to warrant a firing, and then the employee is given the opportunity to go through a grievance procedure before they even terminate it, which is true.
Yes.
So non-union workers are usually hired at will, which means they can also be terminated any given time for any reason. But of course, once you get fired, that's when you go down to EEOC and and so on and so forth. That's the only way a non-union worker can usually fight to get their job back, or some kind of payment or some kind of compensation for being fired for no apparent reason if you prove your case justly. Also, having to be a union member, seniority. Having longer years of employment is important for unions. Employees who have the greatest seniority are considered first for promotion or open jobs, open bids in any position. In the event of layoffs, the most recently hired employees are laid off first, and those with seniority are laid off last.
Been there, done that.
The object is to prevent an employee from playing favorites in the workplace, which is true. Career guidance. Usually, I'm gonna summarize this one. The union prides themselves on having members who are exceptionally well trained at their craft and skills. That's why you get the union label and so on and so forth. Yeah. And plus, when you have that union backing, that training on your back, you can also charge a certain amount because you are a union trained worker. Exactly. In comparison to be just Joe Schmo off the street, or that partner down there who do it for cigarettes and and a 40.
Cigarettes.
Now, this is a pro and a con depending on how you view it. Union dues and initiation fees. Dues for unions can be several $100s a year, reducing the higher wages received by union members. Dues are also used, for to pay the official salaries and union activities, like like you have your
Shop
your,
stewards.
yeah, shop stewards, as well as your union picnics and union things of, and urban league and stuff like that. So it all goes hand in hand. And let's see, another con is like there's a pro and a con, because there are times where you may get, like we get like bonuses at General Motors, we get profit sharing, and usually there's a certain amount of union dues that come out of that profit sharing, so you're not getting what you
All of
expect.
that.
You ain't getting all of it, but
Right.
it works out because it helps keep you afloat.
Yeah.
One of the cons is loss of individuality. Workers lose their individuality by belonging to a union in which decisions are made as a group, not as a. So, what if we're all in the union and let's say boss lady has a situation and it's her major gripe, it ain't ours. As a whole, she might be ass out because it doesn't
Goes with
benefit
the
us as
majority.
a whole. It's a majority rule type deal.
Oh, wow.
So that's a con, but it's also can also be a pro depending on certain situations.
We all agree.
Financial hardship from strikes. If a collective bargaining agreement fails, union management can call a strike, and which is always is just short your money up. Seniority. If you are low seniority, that can be a con, because if you're low seniority, that means you're first one in, first one out. And also the last con is no compensation for hard work. Union contracts mandate that all workers are paid the same regardless of work performance. So
That's
whether
true.
you have a job that's a fucked up ass job,
Overloaded.
or
Easy job.
overloaded, or like myself, whereas I've been there 22 years
You don't do nothing?
and I don't do nothing.
Yeah, well, he do, but
I do some, but
he's not tied to the
I don't work hard. I don't bust a sweat anymore.
Or you
So-
at that position at the end of the line where you just wipe down the car and just send it
Well,
on this way.
I'm what is called I'm in the quality department, so I'm what is called a torque route monitor. I'm a torque monitor. So basically, I take a data mic, which is a little computer, and a tool, and I check different screws and bolts and nuts to make sure they have the right newton meters and the right
make
torque.
sure they got the right.
You test the screws?
You gotta check
And
the
the
test screws.
nuts?
I'm good for that. I'm
So
good
you're
at
looking
screwing.
at, you're looking at nuts all day.
Oh,
He's
the
basically
damn-
looking at nuts all
I
day.
work with nuts all day.
I was gonna
Looking
ask
at
you.
him and working with him.
GM,
I was
bro.
gonna ask you, as far as the union is concerned now, how does that come into play for, say, a crisis like COVID? Like if you're union,
And they
Will
be
they-
sitting out there on a picket line.
that's the whole thing, and you can't come to work, or it's better to have a union to have you backed.
Yes,
As
it
opposed
is.
to
There was a COVID
job.
situation, if I recollect correctly, in the beginning stages of COVID. There were situations where, at first, I know we were at General Motors. At General Motors, they would pay you like I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I know you got paid, if not for 2 weeks, at least 1 week of the 14 quarantine days.
Oh, you mean, okay, yeah.
And then that changed rapidly. It got to the point where it's like, no, fuck that. It got to now it's to the point where if they even think you knew you had COVID and you come to work, they'll try to terminate you. There's been several people at GM that have been terminated
Oh, for
recently
real?
What?
for allegedly knowing they had COVID. They've been accused of knowing they had COVID and came to work anyway.
Why the hell would you come to work if you have COVID?
That's a reason
you
to be
gotta
off
work.
of work, though.
Because
You gotta
some
work.
people gotta get a paycheck. They're not. Just think about it. If your livelihood is attached to that,
If you are but see, that's the whole
You
point.
have no
Aren't you?
choice but
But
to go to
at
work.
one point in time, you get 14 days paid. I don't know how it is at GM, but if you had COVID and you could prove you had COVID, you get 14 days off.
Right, but not anymore. They'll lay you off. It's so crazy. It's because it has fluctuated at times at the job.
I thought they
Whereas there are people who got paid to be on quarantine, others who may have gotten a week to be on quarantine. There's others who've gotten suspended for being allegedly, having it. And then there's people who through 6 degrees of separation may have known somebody or came in contact with somebody who had it, and they put you out, but you have negative. You come up negative, and they'll still sit you out for
Just
10
because
days.
you was around them.
Yeah, if you get tested and you have a negative test, there have been situations where they'll test you at I don't know if they do at the job site, but they'll test you. I think they test you at the job site, and then you go to your doctor. If you test negative at your doctor, and you tested negative at the job, but you came in contact with somebody, they'll still sit you out.
that is crazy.
There's been a lot
And they won't pay you when they sit you out.
You better
There's
have
been a
some
lot of
vacation.
bullshit.
have mine.
So now you understand why certain people come to work anyway, because you're not finna
I
miss
have
a
my
week worth
theories
of pay.
about that,
If
but
you
I'm
already
gonna keep
behind now, we had gotten strikes, laid off because of chips, laid off because of COVID, and a lot of that pay has been missing or come up short. So you already behind trying to play catch up,
Behind the eight
trying to
ball
keep your
already.
house, trying to keep your car,
'Cause when-
trying to keep food and shit on the table. Why would you tell on yourself
Right.
if you can
That's
get away
why-
with it?
Union be damned.
So when y'all go out on strike and all that too, y'all don't get paid for that, right?
We get strike pay, which is
You get
like
strike pay, but you
pay
gotta
is
sit on the
not-
picket line.
You got to sit on the picket line, strike pay and shit, like $120 a
Yeah,
week.
that's
It really,
nothing.
it's
This
like
is nothing.
less than
Oh.
unemployment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And people fight to get out there to GM.
but
yeah,
the money's good. I mean, it's
the
worth
money
it.
is good
when
once
you
you
when you
there.
can make 80, 90, 100,000 a year without a degree.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
And that's why I joined the union.
Right.
Yeah.
College isn't for everybody.
Right.
But if you have gumption, you know what I'm saying? If you're one of those people that can, like, I need to do something, but I don't want to work at Amazon. I don't want to work at Quick Trip. I can get a good paying job and a skill that'll put me in a position where I'm never, ever going to be unemployed.
Yeah.
And it leads to entrepreneurship. A lot of these jobs, carpenters, bricklayers, my job, you know, a lot of these jobs can start you on your own road to owning your own business. And I think, you know, that goes back to the 60s where we fought to be integrated with these white folks. And we lost that entrepreneurial spirit. And now, since COVID's hit, a lot of people have started like, hey, this job don't mean shit. They don't care about me. I don't care about them. Let me start my own business. But how can I do that? I know I can. I'm good with my hands, but what can I do?
Right. Right.
And that's where coming into a union works.
I got a text from a co-moderator, and shout out to her. She's not feeling well. Dr. Chocolate, I like to call her.
Shout out Dr. Chocolate.
Yeah, she just sent
What
me a
up, Dr.
text. She
Chocolate?
said for a period of time, the government gave reimbursement to employers up to 80 hours for COVID positive employees, but that program ended just last year.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is ending. This is the year right here.
Yeah.
If you're going to give money, taxes, all that type of stuff, this is the year because after next year, it's a wrap. You ain't getting too much of nothing.
I mean,
so basically,
even with all of these different variants coming out, like
Yeah,
it's
they-
gonna be
it's going to be
wild in a minute. Like,
Yeah, very much
So I'm
And
trying to
everything's
see.
going up in price too.
yeah,
Yeah.
Could be
So-
a shortage.
Inflation is getting crazy right now.
So basically, again, back to my union because I want to start a union.
you're.
No, I'm serious. I really want to start a
That's what I'm
union.
saying. You need to look
I
that up.
believe that dancers should have a union. So I need to know where do
But
I start?
then you'd have to. That's a messy area because all that money you making, that has to be accounted for. Mm-hmm. You think you're gonna make $3,000 to $5,000 a night, and somebody ain't gonna get their hands on some of
Union
that?
dues.
I mean, you looking at it now, dancers got to pay tip out. They got to pay the boss. They got to pay this one.
So
and
you
it's so
add
much
on to
sexual
pay-
harassment. It's so much that women are already being degraded because they're dancers. People feel like that's the most degrading thing on the planet. But, you know, if you can protect them in some type of way from being raped because the owner decide this is the only way you could work here, they get money out. They taking money from them anyway. So
It'll be
that
more
would
money.
mean that the club would have to show what the dancers are giving them too, though, right?
I don't know.
I'll say
I was gonna
this.
say you probably have to look that up. 'Cause
Based on how
That's a good idea, though.
Based on how, like, I remember recently Volkswagen. I think if I'm not mistaken, I know it was either Volkswagen in Tennessee or Alabama, or Toyota in Alabama or Mississippi that tried to unionize, and it was a whole anti-union campaign, a lot of smear tactics, a lot of lies, and it was basically saying they were basically saying that if the union does come, we'll uproot, we'll shut all this shit down and move. The same thing can hold true to maybe some of these club owners. If they decide to unionize, they'll say, you know, I don't need y'all. We'll get some other girls who don't want a union. I mean, there's for every action, there's going to be a reaction. Not to say don't try it, because by all means, I support it. But get ready for that
I
fight.
would definitely
Right.
look that up and see what you have to do, your criteria here in Missouri, or if you
Or
go
maybe
back
you can
to
already,
Texas.
or you can reach out to one of these other unions. Like, here's some. You have the National Education Union, Service Employees International, Teamsters, United Food and Commercial Workers, United Auto Workers, United Steel Workers, American Federation of Teachers, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Laborers International Union of North America, International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, Communication Workers of America, United Brotherhood of Carpenters and Joiners of America. You know, there's so many. United Association.
I'm always throwing Google out there.
Yeah,
Is
there's
Google
always
unionized?
there are so many
Probably
different
not.
unions in the United States. I'm going to leave this here with you because
So teachers are unionized and they the worst paid.
Well, yeah.
I think teachers should get paid like basketball players
of course,
because they don't get enough money.
right.
Oh yeah, that needs to
But
stop.
then they're in a
sch-
union,
But
though.
I mean, once you go to like the collegiate level, that's when you start making that money.
Professors.
But
and,
we need
Yeah.
them to make money at the lower level.
And that's
so, and they,
that's also a government thing too, because that's where that
Forming our children's minds in the beginning.
a majority of the schools are getting paid from government funding. So if
you can't. Yeah, right.
if
Yeah.
the government isn't paying that school district that much, how do you expect to be getting paid like
I
a
think it just
basketball
be
player?
something just like how they do basketball players. When you come into the league, it's
But
a certain.
that's privately owned though.
Oh, I just
Exactly.
I learned
That's
something
privately
new.
owned.
The government has nothing to do with the NBA, NFL,
Yeah.
and Major League Baseball. Those are
I
privately
need them to
owned
pay
teams,
Yeah.
owned by billionaires, paying millionaires.
So is teacher is that government?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah, that would be
it's
government.
government.
Okay, so
You're
then
not working for the government, but each municipality is funded from tax dollars. Tax dollars that are coming in from local governments and your federal governments. So usually, the way it's set up, usually, in the more predominant school districts, usually those teachers get paid the most because of the property value money that's coming in.
Exactly.
So like your Ladus, your Frontenacs, your Creve Coeurs, you know, so on and so forth of West County or even South County, more so than you could, or let's say a Riverview,
Louis City,
or St. Louis
Ferguson,
City,
Florissant.
Ferguson, Florissant, Riverview School District, Jennings, things of that nature. They're not going to get paid unless I know. Usually, when you have that doctor in front of your name, when you are a principal or assistant principal, that's where the big bucks is. When you are an administrator
I
over
guess
being a teacher.
living in the right area is so important.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
messed up though.
But that's just how it
that
is.
way.
But I still think teachers should get paid.
Yeah.
Of course.
And I need
think
for
that's
you.
a
But on the flip side of that, all teachers ain't good teachers.
No, but that's why.
I think
Because
they would
most
be better
teachers,
Big
teachers
facts.
if they got
had better
paid,
pay.
yeah, that's what I'm
facts.
saying.
That's
You
how
dealing
that
with the
goes.
children. Half the time, you with your kids more than the parents are.
Yeah. In
And
the
like you said, they
beginning.
molding their little minds.
In
They
the
preparing
beginning.
them. They teaching them. They around them. I just feel like teachers should get paid way more money.
I think
think
that's
they
the
would teach better.
majority of people in the world too. Hey, did you all ever hear of Union Plus benefits?
What's
I
that?
just learned this, like sitting here. Okay, we need to look into this.
Okay.
It is. I'm gonna just do the short of it. But Union Plus, put it this way, Union Plus offers a full range of supplemental life and accident insurance plans dedicated to meet the unique needs of union members and their families. Affordable auto insurance, homeowners insurance, and renters insurance is also available. And I'm like, wow, okay. So I look into it and it's like, yeah, they say this here wireless discounts, you know about that. You can choose AT&T and so on. Credit cards, they got Union Plus credit cards designed to meet the needs of union members specifically with competitive rates. And they got U.S.-based phone customer service and more. Mortgages. Oh, we got to look into this. Insurance plans, Union Plus scholarships for your children up to 25 years old, and travel and entertainment. Now, we know a little something about what our union do, but you could look this up outside of what union you belong to, and they could help you out.
You said travel.
Is there a
and
website or a number?
Yeah, it's
Every
it's a
union has
Plus
like
benefits.
certain benefits,
Benefits,
like
yeah.
cell phones. Like you guys
Yeah,
get
we do.
discounts on cars.
But this
and
is in
everything.
addition. That's why
Yeah.
it's union
Oh, it's in
services
addition.
benefits plus.
Oh,
So I'm like, oh, I'm glad I clicked on that. I'm about to
You know
look
what?
into that.
Let me ask you this, Hen.
talk to me.
How does a person off the street get started? Like with what you did. How can, let's say, the common person just say, you know what, I want to do what you're doing.
It
So
just
for
takes
our
one simple
listeners.
phone call. It depends. Well, I'm going to walk you down the path I took.
Okay.
I called the union hall, and I had to go out to Silex, Missouri, to actually sign up for the school where they teach you.
And what school is that? And what field and what school?
I am a heavy equipment operator, so the school is out in Silex, Missouri, off of Highway 61.
Okay.
Had to go out there and fill out the application. And the most important thing about my field, you have to have you have to present them a driver's license.
Okay.
Why you say it like that?
Because black folks is always coming up with something.
See, I ain't want
Yeah, black
You
folks.
just, words
just
mean
have to
things.
be-
Present them.
Yeah, that's what
present
like
them a driver's license.
Okay.
Not yours.
We so resourceful.
So, because they want to make sure you're able to get to the job sites.
Okay.
But you have to present them a
driver's license.
So
Gotcha.
basically,
Here it
Okay.
is. Make a copy of it.
All right.
You sign up for the school. After you sign up for the school in Silex, Missouri, you go back to the Union Hall in Bridgeton, Missouri. There you have to get on a list, and they call you in some. It's not order because minorities get called before the white workers. So me, even if I don't have that much experience as, let's say, Josh could have 15 years experience. If he's number one, I would get called before Josh because I'm a minority.
Wow.
But if April is on there, then April would get called before you
me.
because she's a female and she's a female and a minority.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And
I like
that's
them
why I'm
odds.
here. A lot of people don't understand
win.
that or know that. But yes, as long as you're out working, the union makes money, and they need more minority workers. So that's one of the pluses why I got in the union.
Right.
okay.
So,
So we need more. Basically, we need more women, black women. We
yes.
need more women, black women, and black men.
yes,
To come out.
especially in Missouri.
Okay.
I got my name on the list, and I had to pay $25.26 to get my name on the list. You pay every first Monday of the month. And after that, you get on the list. You go out and work if they have work. And while you're on that job, since I'm working on a permit from the union, I have to pay them $6 a week. But when you're getting paid what I get paid,
$6.
$6
I'm not
nothing.
missing that.
Right.
Because I'm getting paid. And once that job assignment is over, you just go through that process again. You pay that $25.26 every first Monday of the month. And when you're on a job assignment, you pay that $6. And until you're actually official card holding member of the union. And that was my journey.
So what about apprenticeship?
Apprenticeship
What is
is
it?
once you complete all the courses and you've been tested out. That's when you learn your apprenticeship, and you stay on the apprenticeship, I believe, 3 to 5 years. But at that time, you're still making what a journeyman makes. So I came in, I wasn't under scale. I came in making what an apprentice makes,
Which is
$37.11 an hour.
okay.
An apprentice. So it's a journeyman, apprenticeship.
Apprenticeship, then a journeyman,
I mean, apprenticeship, journeyman.
and that's it.
So the journeyman is the man that makes the $40 and $50 an hour or something like that.
They've aged into the union.
Oh, okay. Like
Yeah,
grandfather
yeah.
in or something.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what do you learn as your apprenticeship? Like what is?
You just you don't have the hours to be considered a journeyman. Basically, it's
okay.
just how long you've been.
It's
there.
like a seniority thing. You just
Exactly.
like you said, you age into it.
Yes.
Just as time progresses.
Yeah, like me, I'm working on a permit. Then you go to an apprenticeship. Then you go to being a journeyman. It's just about your time in the union.
So,
Pretty much seniority.
Okay.
so what's the testing process?
Every skilled trade has different requirements. Mine, you just have to go out there on a piece of equipment and do certain activities on that to show that you're proficient with that equipment, and they test you out and you go home.
Okay.
And at that time, you're getting paid. While you're in school, you're getting paid. So I've been working on equipment. I had no idea what I was doing, but they teach you.
Right.
It's on the job training, getting paid $37.11 an hour. A lot of if you're on a job site, if they tell you what you're going to be operating, you can go on YouTube and look and see. YouTube University is amazing.
Man, I love you too. I ain't gonna lie.
I've learned to use so much equipment just by watching YouTube. And once
Yeah.
you get in there, and pretty much in my skill, a lot of the equipment have the same controls. It's just getting proficient enough to be useful at that job.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, I definitely understand that. because they'll have you floating at GM, and you'll work chassis one day, and then you're over here on door line the next, so you start picking up how to do all of these different jobs.
Exactly.
So,
and the more equipment you know how to use,
The
the
more
more
they
you
can
be sent
utilize.
out.
Right.
You can be utilized.
They won't be so
easily.
quick to get rid of you. And then the
That's true.
union has something to fight for because you have more than one skill.
Yeah.
As long as you're getting paid, the union's getting paid, everybody's happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the win,
And
win,
again,
win
Just
across the
hit up
board.
YouTube and learn how to do what you're trying to go out there and do.
Because they'll once you sign up, they'll give you a list of equipment. Bulldozers, rollers, skid steers. Skid steers, everybody's, what is a skid steer? A skid steer is like a bobcat. Well, it is a bobcat. A bobcat is just the manufacturer of a skid steer.
Okay. Familiar with that.
But driving them forklifts is money, right? That's pretty good money if you in the right situation.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have laws which they actually they have an arm that reaches out, picks up whatever you need to do, and it retracts and you take it wherever. Right. So there's a lot of equipment on these jobs. Once you drive past a job site and you just look and you be like, oh, okay. That's a lot of stuff that Derek knows how to use.
Is there a particular certain set of weather conditions that will have you there, whereas there is no work for the day or that week
That
or whatever?
is a great question. I was doing a lot of excavating. They were erecting warehouses out in Creve Coeur. And if it rained more than an inch, we couldn't move because the trucks would get bogged down. So rain, lightning, sometimes snow, depends on what your job is. You might be out of work.
Now, when you say out of work, there's no pay for that day, or there's a...
It depends. If you're on the job site, if you're already at work and say it starts lightning, you can get sent home with 8 hours pay. It depends on who your foreman is.
Right.
Oh, wow.
You know, I've been on the job site where I had to operate a excavator, but I was going to be loading privately owned dump trucks. If you ding the side of that dump truck, it's a safety issue, a whole bunch of paperwork. And he was like, "Hey,
Safety first.
hey, you said you can use it, but we need somebody that's really proficient with it.
Right.
Send me home with 4 hours pay." So sometimes it really depends on that foreman.
Right.
Okay.
I know
Who
I'm
started
gonna
union?
call my son and see if he saw this episode today. Besides
That's why I'm here, because
22
if I would have
years
known
old.
this coming out of high school,
Yeah.
I'd be making $100 plus an hour,
Yeah.
ready to retire.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know about these jobs, but they're out there.
Now,
It's
would you say that they should Google it or?
It depends
Urban
on the
League?
the Urban League can help.
Okay.
It depends
Urban
on what your
League.
passion is. Like some guys might find a passion with plumbing. A lot of guys might be carpenters or masons. You know, it depends on what you think you might want to know, and you just go for it. It just is up to the individual. But as long as you have that will to go out and get a good job, and you want a good paying job, there's something out there for you with the union.
Is there a situation where, let's say you decide to move back to Florida, does what you learned
Carry over.
to, or you have to get recertified with their standards? I know in California it's a whole nother breed out there. I know that to be fact. When you move to California, you have to do everything over again for their standards, including your driver's license. You have to do everything as if you don't even exist out there. That I do know for a fact.
It depends on where you're trying to transfer. I actually called the union for doing the same thing that I'm doing here. And the pay was totally different. They start you off at $18 an hour.
Oh.
I was like, excuse me, say what? How
Where in California?
Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Yeah. And I would have been working out of the like Tampa, Orlando area. And he told me $18 an hour. I was like, nah, I'm going to stay where the fuck I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
So what you make an
That's a
hour?
big
I mean,
dip.
$37.11.
you make $37 an hour here?
Starting off.
You married?
Am I married? Nah, I'm super single. Like I'm painfully single.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
It hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts.
I'm lonely.
He's single.
I'll be
y'all.
answering your questions every day. Trying to school people.
$37
I
an hour.
appreciate that too.
Yeah. That's what's up. So again, I guess the drug test would be like just a drug test or a hair test. I mean, is it a specific?
I have never encountered a hair test. It's usually
I bet.
it's usually urine, but
Is that urine?
they
Is that urine?
they tell you before you go
Where
on
you
that
gonna pull the
site.
hair from?
Like the first,
Any pubic
Oh, I
hair.
was
Yeah.
thinking the
Beard.
show can't get it from there.
I had to
that-
take for the railroad. I had to take a hair test, and I was bald. I was like, "Where you gonna get it from? Your beard?" I was like, I ain't got that buzz."
Because at General Motors, they have situations because they do not do piss tests, and they will pull hair from anywhere. If it's not on your head, they'll
Under
pull it from
your
your
arm,
face, under your
down
arm,
there.
on your chest,
Yes.
On your
pubic
back.
hair, on your back.
got
And if you
enough of it.
refuse to give them any kind of samples, you cannot get a job.
Yeah, you can't get the job. But
And
I-
everyone, I'm gonna let everyone know right now, by the sound of my
don't have
voice.
no
Listen to
hair.
me now. Listen to me now. There is no shampoo that can wash your fucking pores. I'm gonna say it one more time for those in the back. Listen, y'all. Listen, y'all. You ready?
talk to
And
him.
now-
Talk your shit, OG. Talk your shit, OG.
And now, a special report from Audio Audacity News Desk. So, I'm gonna say it one more time.
One more time.
All you people out there who feel like you can get a job anywhere, whereas you can do the hair sample and you can get past it, you can use shampoo to get that,
look like
because
a
they
fool.
And you
they
can't bring in
they'll
fake hair
cut
either.
it, they pull
Yeah.
to get
The
that
follicle.
that follicle, and then they cut as
Cut it
close to
right
your
there.
skin as possible.
Yeah.
They want what's in those pores. Now,
follicles.
with General Motors, they can go back. They can go back six months, but they only do 90 days. So they know once they get that sample, they know how to test with all the stuff, chemicals, how long it's been since you smoked the weed. A lot of people who do meth and cocaine and heroin, well, more so cocaine, because I heard it goes through your system in like 24 hours. It's easy to get past that because of the shit going through your system. Now, the weed stays in your
still
system. It
do
stays in your pores. So I'm going to say it one more time. You cannot. So miss me with that bullshit. No one at General Motors has ever gotten in
Let me ask you a quick
with the
question.
shampoo sample.
With medicinal marijuana being here in Missouri,
That's prevalent.
and you have an excuse to smoke weed, you still can't get a job out there?
You need a doctor's statement.
You probably would need a doctor's statement, and even I don't know how it goes now because I've been in the game. I've been there for 22 years now, so I don't know how it goes now. Now that you said that, I'm gonna ask a couple people to see how it goes now. And
As
with a lot
of-
of these states going that route,
Right.
that makes a damn good question. But it's still once the biggest thing in GM, everyone smokes weed out there. Damn supervisors, everybody smoke
Everybody,
weed.
yeah.
It's just a situation where once you
medical
hurt yourself or tear something
They're
up,
gonna use that against you.
then that's when they
Yeah.
they drop a
Do
sample.
another sample
But
test.
the cool part about having the union is that you can go in a program, Cordy Fingers,
Yes.
to get right, and
And
you'll get your job back
Get your
They'll
job
hold
back.
your job.
Yeah,
and
and
you'll
they'll
get
hold your job
70% of your pay
because of the union.
because the
Yeah.
union is back.
That's why I'm finna start a union for strippers.
To answer your question, though, as of 13 years ago, because I've been with GM for 13 years, as of 13 years ago, I rolled my little happy ass in there like, where y'all gonna take it? I'll shave everything. I was fortunate at the time. It was a black female nurse, and she's like, you need to have a doctor's statement saying that we can take a urine test on you because we can't pull hair from you. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And I left and I drove to the doctor down. Oh, it was in the city too. I'm calling people like, where can I go? And this particular doctor came in, asked me some questions, wrote it up, gave it to me. I had to take it all the way back out because I wasn't finna embarrass this one. Take it all the way back out to General Motors, and she's okay. We'll do a urine test on you, and they did.
And the reason
I've
why,
never
the
had to
reason
have
being
another
is
one.
that she has alopecia, so
Yeah.
she cannot grow hair naturally.
Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
That's a
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know that.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say it, but thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
For
people need to know.
putting it out there.
Yeah, you need to know.
That's
It
me
doesn't have to be
tell,
embarrassed
though.
of. No.
She could have been
Yeah.
like me. Just got some hair, so
Yeah.
'Cause I'm like, it's
and I laser here, laser
No,
there.
even with that, some of the females out there, they not coming out of their wigs that's glued in. They're not coming
No.
out of their
Right.
their
No.
sew-ins. They're not coming out of that. None of
No.
that. So it's like, well, I don't know where y'all going. Well, then you just don't get the job. But if you want the job bad enough, you gonna take your ass where you need to go to
Right.
get it to come back. And I mean, I'm 45 minutes from where we stay. I'm
You
back
burnt
down
some
in the
gas.
city. I'm back because I could
burnt some
not.
gas that
I
day.
couldn't walk up to him and say, I know you hooked me up with this job, but I couldn't get the job because there's no excuses in the Brooks household.
Not at all.
There's no excuses.
And since she's been in,
Yeah.
that price been right.
You ignorant as shit.
That price been right.
Mm,
That's all I'm saying.
Ignorant as shit.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, that's how that goes. You might have to make a run to your doctor.
But as far as I know,
Even with that medicinal thing too, they say that
another
with that.
thing, if you have a felony,
Let's go with that
if you have a felony,
Good
the
felon.
union is friendly with felons. So that's a lot of people can't get real good, decent paying job because they have felonies. It's something you may did when you were 19. The union doesn't give a damn. As long as it's not really
It's not murder.
I
Well,
know-
no, because
No,
they
even-
hired somebody for murder.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I think it's like theft or something that they frown.
If
upon.
I'm not mistaken, some of these jobs, I think including GM, you have to be 7 years out of prison and removed
exactly.
from probation. It's something it's like a 7-year thing.
Yeah,
It's like a
And
grace
it
period.
depends on what it was.
Yeah, and it
too.
also depends on what it was.
You know, if it was like felony joyriding.
Shit, I know at the gig right now, there's people walking around GM right now with ankle bracelets on, monitors, ankle monitors.
Yeah, because they can come home and
Yeah.
work.
Yep.
So if they work at GM, that's one of the spots they can
GM
be
don't give
at.
a
It's
damn.
got a show on there.
Everybody's
That's where
gonna
you
be
The
at.
same at Ford and Chrysler, but I can just speak on us because that's where I
Yeah.
work.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I know when I worked
Damn.
as a TPT out at Chrysler, it was crazy. Working in an auto plant, you just need to have an own reality show, but that would break up a whole bunch of households.
Yeah.
But that's another thing.
Right.
So the union is definitely where it's at. For those out there who watching the program or even listening to our voice on Spotify, Apple, Spreaker, wherever the podcast, wherever you're listening to it right now, it might be in your best interest to gather up your friends and your family members and pull them together to listen to this because you need a union. Unions help get your quality of life together. Don't be scared they say they're going to shut down the local plant or the local wherever you stay, small town, to move it somewhere else. It costs a lot of money for them just to uproot. Don't fall for that okie doke. They can't do that. They can, but it's going to cost them more money to do it than not to do it. Right. So unionize, strategize, come together because the union is what created the middle class. And the unions was going to keep the middle class, no matter what goes on. So, and that goes for anybody. If you're an avid red or blue Trump supporter or Biden supporter or whoever, it doesn't matter. I can give them either way, red or blue. When it all boils down, it's all about that green. So
Exactly.
that's what it all.
You definitely have a brotherhood backing you, no matter what.
Right. So definitely. Any more questions, ladies? Boss lady, homegrown?
I just need to start my own damn union.
I think when you apply for some of these jobs, just for the younger people, when you apply for some of these jobs, just flat out ask, do you all have a union? I mean, how hard is that? So you'll know what it is where you want to be. And here you at Quick Trip, no union, and then I need another job. You know what I'm saying?
But then again, Quick Trip ain't one of the ones who've been. I've never heard anybody work at Quick Trip and
Be mad about it. Yeah,
It's always
No, I was
Walmart,
just saying.
Amazon.
No, I was just saying. In just retrospect, you get a job, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna quit this job. This job is not union. I thought this was going somewhere. Y'all told me I could be a manager in 3 months. And there's no union. That's what I meant by that. So,
But we definitely need more young people in skilled trades, carpenters, bricklayers,
I have 2 of
iron
those.
workers. Because, like I said before, everybody's not meant to go to college,
Right.
and these are trades that will keep you employed for the rest of your life once
Yes,
you
they
learn
will.
them. And I encourage everybody, if you got a son at home and he doesn't, little Day is not going to college.
He don't want to go to the military.
He doesn't want to go to the military.
And he not that good to go pro football, basketball.
Definitely. Talk to
And
him.
he not gonna be a rapper.
He can be a rapper, but it ain't going nowhere.
It ain't going on.
It ain't
But
going nowhere.
Carpenter, plumber, pipe fitter, there are good paying jobs in this area. You just have to know what your passion is, what you want to do, and what you don't mind getting up, just cashing a check for.
Is Jobs Corps still around? 'Cause I know back in the day, a lot of people that I know who got in. There was a young lady I know. She's to this day, she's still she does
I think it is
drywall, and she learned her stuff at Job Corps.
Yeah.
The one down on Goodfellas.
My daughter went to Job Corps.
Did she learn anything? Did she?
She did. She
And,
did.
like,
Is she doing what she went to school with Job Corps for, or no?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Cause she went to school for massage therapy. She left from Job Corps, went to school for massage therapy, and then she started getting into the whole collections and over the phone and all that stuff. But now she does like claims and all that.
Okay.
But it all started at Job Corps.
Nice, nice. Because I know my son went to Job Corps in Kansas City, and he did welding. He did welding and learned how to be a welder. But unfortunately, he dropped the ball on that. But that's another story for another day. But at least he tried.
He
know,
tried.
we told him to go heating and cooling, and he wanted to do welding because his friends did welding. He shouldn't have followed their path. He should have did his own thing.
Another
His heart
avenue
wasn't
for like if you have a high school or a technical school, because I went to North County
North
Tech,
County
but
Tech, West County Tech, South County Tech.
man, I was just on some dumb shit when I was growing up. But if I would have known what I know now, I would be getting my hands dirty. Like I said, I'd be making $100 an hour just chilling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the more you're in the union, my job, I don't get dirty. I sit in equipment. I've sat in one piece of equipment where it was open air. Open air is a bulldozer that it's not a caterpillar, right? When it was hot in the summertime, I was in the air. The only time I got dirty is if I brushed up against something and it was dirty. That's the only time.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't sweating. I wasn't doing any back-breaking work, and I was getting paid.
Nice. Boss lady.
Yes.
You got
I was
another
texting
question
with
or
my
two or three?
kid. I've asked all I wanted to know
So
now.
what do you do again?
Heavy equipment
Why
operator.
I was gonna ask you, why did you come back? Is the work better here than in Florida? Is the pay rate or
The
whatever?
pay rate is much better. The cost of living and the pay rate
I
in the
would think.
Midwest, it pretty much anywhere is better than Florida. Florida is almost as
been there.
worse as California. It's
That's a
on that way.
retirement. Yeah. You
If you want to go to,
You got to have money.
You gotta
to live.
have money.
exactly. If you
Yeah.
want to go to Florida, you got to have some money.
I would never want to live there.
But
neither.
that was the only thing I came back for.
visit.
And trust me, that 15.5-hour drive, I was regretting it.
Cause how long were you gone? Like how long?
2 years.
I just knew it was longer than. Okay, I had my own life. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what it was.
That's crazy.
It just ain't longer than that.
Yeah, it's just.
We glad to have you back up here though. Sure.
Yeah, and I get depression when I see snow, so I was not a happy camper.
No.
Yeah, that's how it be.
Man, I'm from Texas. I was
So imagine how she felt. I hate snow too. He loves it. Him and my
That
dog
right
love
there is
it.
the bell to let you guys know that another episode is in the books. I
In the
appreciate
can.
we appreciate Homegrown. We appreciate Boss Lady and especially
Yay.
Derek Henry, aka my boy Hen,
Yes,
for
sir.
coming out and speaking about him being in the union with the local 513 Heavy Equipment Operators Union here in St. Louis. Shout out to the UAW 2250
250.
Winsville General Motors plant, and
I'm gonna call y'all.
we want you guys to definitely be safe out there with all this weather going on and COVID. So please be safe. If you guys have a chance, please go back to look at some of our old episodes on the. You can look at them on YouTube at the Old Freaks of the Industry podcast. We still post them on there as well as the new YouTube channel, the Audio Audacity podcast. We post them every week, and you can check us out on Facebook at the Audio Audacity Podcast. You can check us out on YouTube at Audio Audacity Podcast. You can check us out to listen to us on Google, Apple, Anchor, Spotify, Spreaker, or anywhere podcasts can be listened to. Just tell a friend and tell a friend.
Yeah.
When you get a chance, if you guys can, go on to
Subscribe.
YouTube, watch
That
it,
bell.
share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that every time we post something, you see it every single time. So that right there is a wrap for us. We will see you guys in a week or so. We're not gonna be here next week for the Super Bowl.
Super
We're not gonna
Bowl.
be here for Super Bowl next week. We're not gonna do that because I want to see how this shit gonna go down. But in
No, you're a
party,
Rams fan, aren't you?
no, not no more.
Go
Thank you.
Cowboys.
Not no more because I used to love the team, but that owner just.
Thank you. Fuck the Rams.
Cowboys.
Go Bengals.
So, in parting, if you got the gall to do it, We got the
audacity
audacity
to talk about it.
All right, y'all, take it easy.
Peace.
Yeah.
I just had to make some noise.
Another in the can.